What is happening, guys? What's up, people? Glad to be back on stream. Wow, it's been a minute. It has really, really been a minute since I've been on stream. I think it's been since Thursday. Yeah? Since Thursday? Something close to that. Right now, if I'm being real with you guys, I am updating some client programs. I've gotten a lot of client inquiries lately, and it's been cool. Not just POTS related, but other related clients too, like CrossFit. Dude, we're at 999 subscribers. What the freak is that about? I am overly excited for that. 999. That means if you guys can do math, we need 7 more for 1,000. No, I'm just kidding. We only need 1 more subscriber to hit 1,000. But the thing is that once I hit 1,000, dude, oh man, 1,000 subscribers. It's crazy. Almost 1,000 subs. Almost 1,000 subs deep. That's wild to me. I can't believe we're here. I made it a goal, I don't know, a couple months ago to hit 1,000 subs, to hit 1K. And we're freaking doing it. We're about to hit 1K subs, like probably today or tomorrow. I can't believe it. All glory to Jah. That's wild for me. It's wild to me. The reason, when you put your mind to something and you put the effort in and you stick to it, you stay consistent, you can do freaking anything, man. It's wild to me. It's wild to me, right? Mick, that's right. 1 away. I know you have a bunch of channels. Don't subscribe on another channel if you have another channel. I want this to happen organically. I want to be freaking stoked and surprised and crazed when it happens. But yeah, it's unreal. And look, I've been told, man, how do I put this? 1,000 subscribers doesn't seem like a lot, especially in a world where there's people with millions or hundreds of thousands, and like PewDiePie, what is it? What is it? Not PewDiePie. Mr. Beast has like 280 some million subscribers. I think he has 288. So like 1,000 subs doesn't really seem like that much. But dude, to me, like 1,000 says so many. It says so much. And if you like put 300 people in a room, even 300 people, you realize how much that really is. And the fact that 1,000 people subscribe to the channel, that's crazy to me. The fact that I get, on average 100 to 400 views on each video too, that's crazy to me. I can't even believe that people like think it's worth taking the time out of their day to watch my videos. That's extremely humbling, and it feels very good. Like it feels good that I can give people enough value that they think that subscribing to the channel, watching my videos is something that they want to do throughout the day. That just blows my mind. So I'm extremely grateful. I'm extremely happy about that. God is good. 1 more. 1 left. That's all we need. That's all we need. So today I'm shirtless again because I was extremely sweaty. It's really hot out. It's an 8 of a UV index. And I had to retest my 5K today. If you guys don't know, I'm getting ready for a High Rocks event. Go Google it if you don't know what that is. I don't feel like explaining it, to be totally frank. I'm getting ready for a High Rocks. And today I ran my 5K, my retest, in between 22:55 and 22:57. Let's see what the official time was. I had to stop the clock at 23 because I stopped it at 23 because I had to slow down, obviously, and undo it. So it's just going to tell me 23. But my first, this is why I was so quick. Dang. The best growth is organic growth, and you deserve it all, man. You've been doing amazing. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. It's all, it's helped with you guys. You guys have helped a lot. So my first mile was a 6:53 pace. I knew I went out hot. And then I slowed myself down on purpose because I knew that I was going to have to go uphill and then downhill a little bit. So I was like, I need to slow down. And then I went 7:24 and 7:36 for my last mile. And then the fourth mile, which I didn't run a fourth mile, but 7:45. Yeah, 23 minutes is where I stopped it. However, I looked at 3.14 and it was like 22:57, I think. Let's see, 23 divided by 3.14. So on average, a 7:32 mile pace. All right, I'm not mad about that. Hold on one second, guys. Hello?
Hello, you're verified now has been tried.
Couple of updates. I've recently started doing kickboxing again, like Muay Thai with a coach. I do it every Friday with my son. It's something that we get to do together. We do that at 10 a.m., 10:30, something like that. I'm headed today, that's what I'm waiting for this phone call for, to go get a heavy bag. And I think I'm signing up for jiu-jitsu again. I've realized that I really want to go do something that's like community based and something where I can struggle with other men. And so jiu-jitsu is probably that. Not probably, it is that. And to be honest with you, I would go to a kickboxing gym if there was one close, but there's just not. So every Friday I drive out to a city or a town that's like 25 minutes away, and I go back to my old kickboxing coach. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been good. I've been having a good time. I think there's something innate in men that needs to express aggression. And for me personally, I don't like it's not that lifting doesn't do some of that for me, because I've definitely had workouts that were so hard that it evoked emotion out of me. Like I've started crying, after a workout. So it's not that workouts don't have a therapeutic effect for me, but like there's something about just like slamming your fists into a bag and kicking a bag and getting aggressive and violent. I think that that's how you express your nature as a man, and so, yeah, I want to do it more often again, because there was a point in time where I thought that where I legitimately considered fighting competitively. And yeah, I just kind of want to get back on that train again. And basically I'm going to do that. I'm going to do jits again. I'm going to do this high rock. And then I'm going to make a decision between like, should I train to compete in jiu-jitsu, or, one of my goals in life is to do at least one type of combat sport competition. That's been a goal forever. I haven't been able to realize that goal yet because I've been so preoccupied with athletics, like in terms of CrossFit, strongman, powerlifting, the bodybuilding show that I did, that I never was able to like really give myself to focus on a combat sport. And I think, to be honest with you, there's two different options that I'm going to do, and then we'll like talk about the actual topic of this live. There's two different versions of combat sport that I'm thinking about doing. Number one is Pancreas, which is basically just kickboxing, Muay Thai without hitting in the head. The reason why I'm considering that is because I just really don't think I want to get hit in the head anymore. Like when I was younger, I did skateboarding, BMX, aggressive inline, and I also did martial arts, and I got hit in the head way too many times. I just don't know if I want to suffer a concussion again. And then the other thing is jiu-jitsu. I'll probably do a jiu-jitsu match at some point. I might do a full-on MMA match. You never know with me, or a boxing match at least. You just never know. But I really don't feel like getting hit in the head anymore. Anyway, let's talk about symptoms of POTS syndrome. Let me read the chat real quick. Caleb, just curious, what is the severity of POTS patients you've rehabilitated? I've seen one of your client examples on Instagram who got back to running after only being able to walk for 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, Caleb, I've worked with an array of people with different symptoms and different severities of symptoms. Currently, one of the most suffering people that I have, I would say, is just about bedridden. And I've worked with people who were bedridden, house ridden, and worked them up to going back to normal jobs. So I have worked with the worst of the worst. I've worked with people who have frequent syncopes, frequent passing out spells, and then, have helped with fixing that. And I've worked with people who just like couldn't even stand up to shower. That had like literally benches in their showers to be able to shower. I've worked with people who couldn't leave their house but were pretty functional. And then I've worked with some people, like somebody that I just signed on yesterday is like really functional, but she passes out during the day. So yeah, I've worked with an array of people. Caleb, that question makes me think that you probably need, or you're probably looking for help. If you're looking for help, if you need somebody to help coach you, if you need some extra guidance, feel free to hit me up at jqfit1@gmail.com, and I got you, dude. All right, so symptoms of POTS. Symptoms of POTS. To be honest with you guys, I only chose that title to come on here and talk to you guys about how basically anything can be a symptom of POTS. And how basically anything is a symptom of chronic illness. And to talk about why we shouldn't be concentrating so much on symptoms. What I think is really interesting with POTS is that I always, like, every single one of my clients, for the most part, will complain about a lot of the same symptoms. And then clients of mine will also complain about separate symptoms or symptoms that maybe other people have not experienced. And what happens is when they experience something that's kind of outside of the norm of what they have experienced before, that's when they start to think that they have like a real medical emergency. And that's when they like go to the emergency room and all these different things. And it's my opinion that if you have been diagnosed with POTS, and if you haven't been diagnosed with any sort of severe medical issue, any other severity, like with any real severity, right, that you just need to kind of chill and act as though you have POTS, right? And just do the things that are conducive to getting better with POTS. So often the people in the POTS community have a lot of anxiousness around their health. And I think that health anxiety is a real thing. But the only way that you cure health anxiety, in my opinion, is by fixing your mindset and not getting so overly fixated on symptoms. And that's a huge problem for people in POTS, because anytime they feel something new, they think that something new is wrong with them, rather than I have this thing, so this thing is what is causing this thing. And the other portion of it is that if they haven't felt, you guys, I have to answer this call. Give me 1 second. Hello?
This call is for business name TP.
Never mind. If they have a symptom, if they've previously had a symptom and they haven't experienced it in a little while, and then they experience it again for whatever reason, after maybe a couple weeks or a couple months of not having that symptom anymore, suddenly this symptom becomes a medical emergency as well. So I think that something that really needs to be addressed in terms of, people with POTS and what happens with people with POTS with any real severity is, so I have these headphones in for no reason, huh? I think what really needs to happen in terms of people with POTS is that they just really need to get, they really need to get on board with fixing their health anxiety. Like, genuinely need to get on board with fixing their health anxiety, and also come to a real realization or conclusion of whether or not you're willing to do the things necessary to get better. And if you're not, I just had a client, I don't care. I just had a client who and I say this because it was a collective of people that kind of, whoa, what is that? I say this because it was like a collective of people, right, that were working together with me. a family, right, that was concerned about, one of the people in the family. But they made so many freaking excuses for the person who was suffering and who was going through, the program with me. They made so many excuses for the person, and they didn't empower the person to actually get any better. And because the person was not of age, they were underage, right? So the parents would do a lot of the communicating with me, which is totally fine. But I could never actually, I don't know how to put this without like completely like dogging or like completely just like falling out of like, being mean. Basically, they made a bunch of excuses and they wouldn't take any steps back. And basically the child was the boss in the whole relationship, right? Who cares? I don't need to be like nice about this. The child was the boss in the whole situation. Whatever she wanted to do goes, and it doesn't matter, but she wants to get better. She needs to get better. However, her parents wouldn't hold her accountable at all. And so like, I actually genuinely feel bad for the kid because the parents aren't willing to be parents in this situation and help her get better. We fixed her passing out spells. We fixed her nausea. We fixed her, all this stuff. But then she had a whole host of other symptoms. And I'm like, yeah, look, I mean, you changed her diet out of nowhere on me. And I told you to track her diet for a full week, to track her diet for a full week so that we can get a real grasp on like what's actually, hurting her, what's actually like what is maybe causing symptoms. But you couldn't even do that. You had to change the diet because you were online and somebody told you that this helped their person. You guys need to understand, POTS is very individual. Could there be some similarities between you and other people? Absolutely yes. And absolutely yes, some people's advice is going to help you 100%. However, that doesn't mean that it's foolproof and that it is for sure going to help you. So the best thing that you can do is you can stay consistent with whatever you are doing, even if you feel like crap. And even if certain things make you feel like crap, the best thing that you can do is at least a week of tracking every single thing, how you feel like crap, what you think makes you feel like crap, and then start pulling away from there. But the person, instead of doing that, changed everything before ever doing the things that I had asked them to do. And so we had no data. We have nothing that we can actually go and actively fix. And then she's having more passing out spells. Well, then it turns out that she's not eating enough calories. She's only eating like 1,100 calories a day. So I'm like, okay, we have to eat more calories. But I had the conversation with them. You can't just switch things up out of nowhere because now you have nothing to build off of. You have nothing to take away. You have nothing to put back in, or you have nothing to add. You have no data to even work with. So aside from that, then it's like I asked the people, hey, stick to the program. Right? Stick to the program exactly. No more, no less. Stick to the program so we can make sure that works. Well, then I find out 2 weeks later, this person has another personal trainer, an in-person personal trainer. I'm like, what? We're 3 weeks into this and you have never told me this. And you're wondering why she's like constantly having flare-ups and she's constantly still like she's passed out or whatever. She was passing out. She's having too much stress. Like take the steps back. Please do what I'm asking you to do. Okay, sweet. We figured that out. Awesome. Then it's like another thing. I get the text message like, hey, this other thing is happening to her now. Okay, great. What's been changed? Well, she decided that she wants to go play pickleball with her friends and she's been having a really rough week. She's been doing a bunch of stuff. I'm like, it's just like for some reason for people with POTS, like a lot of you guys cannot just take a step back. It's like, more is better for some reason with you guys. It's like more is better. Like you don't want to listen to people, like not just you guys, but like people in general, right? Just don't want to listen to people that maybe have more experience with them. Like I have a whole freaking database of people that I can pull from and be like, hey, this generally works for people. This is what I want you to try. But you're just going to go and take it into your own hands anyway. Why did you even contact me? Why do you even contact anybody to help you if you know better, right? The whole thing is, look, when you have POTS, you're having symptoms, all this stuff. You need to keep track of what's happening. Don't just constantly switch things up. Don't keep trying new things. Take a week, track the symptoms, track the time after the symptoms. Like how long after did I have, or how long after I ate this did I have symptoms? How much exercise have I done this week? And what seems to really flare me up? Things of that nature. And pull back. Actually pull back. Take your time. This isn't a thing that happens overnight, right? And like so many people with POTS don't have there's really no gray area here from what I've experienced. There's two different types of people with POTS. Number one is I know that exercise has made me feel better in the past, so I'm going to go balls to the wall and do as much exercise as I can. That's not good in the long term. For some people, it might make you feel better pretty acutely, but I just only have ever seen people who have taken that approach hit a wall. And because they haven't been progressive, they haven't been patient. So they just end up doing too much, they hit a wall. Because when you do a bunch, say you start an exercise program with 50 reps of squats, right? This is going to be super general. You start an exercise program with 50 reps of squats. The only way to progress from there and to ensure that you're getting more fit is to do 70 reps of squats then. And then you have to do 80, and then you have to do 90. So the whole point of progression with POTS is to start with the minimum effective dose. What is the smallest amount of work that I can do to see marginal improvements? It doesn't matter if it's marginal, massive, whatever, to see some sort of improvements. What is the smallest amount of work? When you can figure that out, things get so much easier because you can slowly progress and your body adapts to it way better, and you're able to put more and more stress and more load on your body and more demands in less time. In less time, without the big risks of bad things happening. And then the other side to POTS is they just don't want to do anything. They won't do anything, and they just don't listen. That's the other side. I mean, there's only two sides. There's not much gray area. A lot of people that are in that first example, though, that I've talked to, like, I've been able to convince and talk down and be like, hey, just listen. Be in the gray area. Be in the gray area. Let's just start there. Let's go from there. Reading the chat. Caleb, thank you. It's just that I get scared when I get lightheaded at the end of the day, which discourages me from walking the next day and keeping up with my routine. Yeah, I mean, yeah, symptoms with POTS are uncomfortable, and it does get scary. I'm not going to lie. It can be scary. The most important thing to realize is it's a slow process. You got to take it slow, and you got to do, man, I don't really know how to explain this that well. Besides, I think a lot of you guys are kind of just throwing darts at a dartboard, right? I think a lot of people with POTS are throwing darts at a dartboard, and I'm not saying that you need to work with me, right? But I think what happens with a lot of people is they don't want to seek help in with somebody who has the experience. Has the experience working with people. And I'm not the only POTS coach out there. The other person that I recommend is the POTS coach. That's her brand, right? So whether it's me, her, or you want to do the CHOPS protocol or whatever, it doesn't really matter as long as you do something. The point is that so many people are just throwing darts at a dartboard without ever hitting the bullseye, right? They don't have the data. A lot of you guys aren't even educated in exercise science or anything. So it's and that's not a dig on any of you, right? And if you are educated in that, then go back to your textbooks and read about heart rate variability and read about reconditioning or just conditioning in general, and the pulmonary system and the circulatory system. This is all pretty basic stuff, and you can take a lot from the information in the textbooks. But so many people refuse. And to me, to be honest with you, I think it's because a lot of people don't actually want the change. So many people refuse to take the initiative to go work with somebody or to follow a program or whatever. And to me, to be honest with you, it's the anxiety, it's the health anxiety. What if this happens when I exercise or whatever? But then the other portion of it that I genuinely do think is that people just want a reason to be lazy, and people want a reason to sit around. And that's genuinely what I think. I don't think it really has anything to do with the fact that I can't actually move. I can't actually exercise, because most of you guys can. I've worked with the worst of the worst, and there's always something that you can do. There's always something that you can do. And again, it's not that you have to follow my program, which is linked in the description, or hire me for one-on-one coaching. You can work with anybody else. You can do the CHOPS protocol. But most people just won't take that step because they simply don't want to do it. I had to start so slow. It's a process that builds up slowly. Yes, it is. Yes, sir. People don't want things slowly. People don't like when things don't come at the pace that they want it to. Everything must come fast, and everything must come now. That's what she said.
Personal.
Man, we got no food in the house. That's what I need. It's food. Oof. Did you guys hear that tummy rumble? My stomach has been messed up since Saturday morning. I don't know what it is. It's gross. Is it very gross? Very, very gross, my friend. All right. I have to update this program. Boom. Five, 195. What the heck? I just got asked to be interviewed for the New York Post. Should I do it? What the frick? I have a really weird request. The New York Post is looking to interview somebody who is voted Democrat or hasn't voted and voted or will vote for Trump, and you're the only person I thought of. Let me know if you have any interest in being interviewed. What the frick, dude? I haven't voted Democrat ever. And I don't exactly know who I'm going to vote for. Should I do it, guys? W in the chat if I should get interviewed by the New York Post. What? That's crazy. Why do I feel like this can't be real? It's a text. The soap that we bought, it smells really good. This is strange. This is weird. Huh. Very weird. I think I'm going to do it. I think that'd be good publicity for my podcast. If I was just like, frick the system, dude. The system sucks. It's designed for everyone to fail. These billionaires don't care about us. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. I had to step away and make a video for the group. You brought up the pace at which you make progress, and it's such a vital part of moving forward. I think it's often overlooked. Yeah, I think that the thing is that everybody is looking for immediate progress always. This isn't even just exclusive to POTS, right? Like, so many people want to just be in a place where they're an expert or they're fully better or they're like super competent, but nobody wants to put in the work to be better, to be healthy, to be competent, and to become an expert. Because the work is that it's just that, it's work, and nobody wants to do it. It's the fact that, like, and then when people don't see overnight results, they're like, what the hell? Why am I not better? And they almost never take into account the things that they did wrong, right? That prevented them from doing it. Like, I've worked with a lot of people, actually. Like, I have been very close to firing clients before, because it's like, that's a funny thing to say, right? But I've been very clear when I talk to clients too about, hey, these are the things I need you to do. And if I hear that you're not doing them, or you're like doing too much, you're going to risk our relationship. Because what happens is if you do too much, or if you don't follow what I'm telling you, and if you don't find results, and you, like, people know that you work with me, and this is not just for POTS, but like in person too, right? If people know that you work with me and you don't find results, but it literally is due to you, no one's going to ask you what you did wrong. They're just going to look at the trainer. They're going to look at the person who was telling you what to do. They're not going to ask you if you followed everything that I asked you to do. They just don't. It's never a line of conversation. They're just going to be like, oh, that sucks. The trainer must not have worked that hard, or the trainer must not know what he's doing, whatever. They never put the onus on the person that's supposed to be following what the trainer says. And even without the trainer aspect, right? It's like, so many people want to have overnight results, and overnight could mean a month, like doing something for a month, and they're like, well, I'm not feeling better. And it's like, well, did you actually dedicate yourself to what you were supposed to do? Chances are you didn't. You know, chances are you did not actually do everything that you were supposed to be doing, or you were doing too much, because it's so hard for us, like, especially people with POTS, it's so freaking hard for us to be able to see what we used to be able to do and not loathe over where we used to be, right? And we just think about that, and it's like constant, right? It's just ruminating thoughts, what I used to be able to do. And then we try to do everything that we used to be able to do, and we're not able to take a step back to actually see the future, right? Or it's like people are ruminating on the future is going to be so bad, I might as well just not do anything. You know, like there's no middle ground for the most part. Like people just are not willing to take that middle ground and be like, okay, I'm going to give this a real shot. I'm going to do everything in my power, whether that means I have to take like 10 steps back to move 2 steps forward. I'm going to do everything in my power, which means I'm going to eat the same boring, crappy foods every single day, even though I don't like it. And I feel like I'm going to throw up when I eat it because it's so disgusting and bland. I'm going to do everything in my power, which means I'm going to drink more water than I ever have. I'm going to do everything in my power, which means most of my money is going to be allocated towards getting better and getting my health back, because when I get my health back, I'll be able to make more money. But no, people don't want to freaking do that, dude. People just don't want to do that. And for the people that do want to do that, I applaud you. But that's not the majority. Hold on. My dog was just like yelping. Sorry, guys. Chat. That's what the value is for me in the personal training, is all the knowledge I gain in working with you after you have developed over the years of working with this. Yeah, thanks, dude. I think that it's interesting. Like, I'm not saying that I know everything, by any means. I'm not even saying that I know close to most things when it comes to this, but I do have experience. That's one thing that I do have. And I think like I myself go out of my way to have, you know, conversations with people that know more than I do about anything that I want to know. And I have mentors and I have coaches and stuff. So to me, it's mind boggling that some people don't want to take that step and they just want to either sit in their shit or they think that they know everything and they want to act like they know everything. To me, that's like crazy. Hey, babe. Somebody just asked me, an old client's mom. She just asked, she goes, hey, Justin, this is, you know, so-and-so. I have a really weird request. The New York Post is looking to interview somebody who has voted Democrat or hasn't voted and voted or will vote for Trump. And you're the only person I thought of. Let me know if you have any interest in being interviewed. What? Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I could get interviewed by the New York Post.
Because you're going to vote for Trump?
I don't know if I'm voting for Trump officially, but
I'm confused. That's weird. Random. Are you going to do it?
I'm going to say, yeah, how did this come about? That sounds scammy, man. Yeah, it does kind of sound scammy a little bit, but I want to see what it's about at least. This is crazy. This is what she just said. You ready for this? She goes, kind of a crazy story. You guys, the only reason why I trust this is because this is an old client's mom, like an old client of mine's mom. What?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, listen. She goes, kind of a crazy story, but I helped out a tax firm and the woman.
Hold on. I'll make you listen. Okay, what?
You guys are about to see my buff girlfriend on stream.
Are you on right now?
Yeah. She goes, kind of a crazy story, but I helped out tax firm and the woman is whatever. She's got crazy energy. She's just got crazy energy and she's really involved in this election and starting up all these groups. And she contacted me. I couldn't think of anybody, but of course, Charlie right away said, JQ, I always think you might get business. I'm in sales, so it's always on my mind.
What was the original request?
To do an interview with the New York Post. The reason why I trust this woman is because she's always been on my side. Always. And she single-handedly started my baseball training business. She's the reason that I because one day, I'm going to tell this story, okay? This is a story of going out of your way, doing what you need to do in order to be where you want to be. It was 6 years ago that I was trying to grow my business. Oh, you don't want to hear it, huh? You just want to leave.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I don't care. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. You'll probably hear me out there. 6 years ago is when my business really started to flourish and started to take how do you say? What would the word be?
Momentum.
Like gain momentum. Because basically, if you guys don't know, my main point of business has been for the past like 5 years, has been performance coaching, like athletic performance coaching. I train a lot of baseball players. I've trained a lot of football players, mostly like female lacrosse players. But my specialty in person is athletic performance, so like speed, agility, and strength and conditioning. That's basically where I started my business. And so anyway, the thing that I want to kind of get here, and maybe you guys can take it into your POTS world, or like if you're just like looking to do anything in general, taking initiative. I was renting space from a buddy of mine, and this is when I decided to, instead of go from a monthly rate over to session rates, right? In my business, which was really scary, but I did it. So anyway, I heard that there was this like performance center down the road, this baseball center. And basically all they did was they had a baseball, like not like a batting cage, but it was like a pitching, like it was a turfed out warehouse. And they had batting and pitching coaching and like catching, whatever. It was specific to baseball, how you throw, how to get a better velo max, all that stuff. And so what I did one day was like, I was just like, okay, forget it, dude. I'm just going to like grab my nuts and I'm going to go talk to people that I don't know and see if I can somehow collaborate and get business with them. So it was really scary. And this, like, I wasn't used to doing this at all. I was kind of younger early on in my sales career. And I just literally got in my car at random, never called, and then went to the door. I ended up running into the dad, who was like the person who basically he like paid for the space, right? And then because I met the dad and like I put a good impression on him, I ended up having a meeting with the wife. And because I had a meeting with the wife, then I started training her kids. And I was originally supposed to do a collaboration with their performance center. I was originally supposed to do a collaboration with them, like train with the kids that went into there and like whatever. They asked me to be a trainer there. I said, I can't ditch my own business. I can't ditch the gym that I'm at. And so anyway, I started training their kids. And because I started training their kids, because I took that leap of faith to go talk to people that I didn't know and present myself and talk to them and, you know, put myself out there, I started training their kids. And because I trained their kids, I got more kids and more kids and more kids and more kids and word of mouth. It's just, if you ever have the idea to do something, just take the initiative and do it. Just do it.
Excellent advice.
And that was the year that I made $1 million. You want your mic on?
No.
Oh.
I want to eat food.
I do too, but you didn't buy any food for the house.
I said last night, let's take the meat out, and I never can't take it out.
Oh, I tried to take the meat out, but there was like too much in the way in the freezer. Are you out?
I'm famished.
Yeah, you look famished.
I know.
I could go all day without eating. It's not good for you, but I could. Sugimoto, oh man, I'm late. Hey, all. What's up, dude? Mosin. I don't know how to say your name, man. Hey, what's up? Glad to have you guys in here. Always take initiative. Opportunities almost never just pop themselves up, right? I think it's interesting because people will say things like, if you put yourself in the right mindset, opportunities come up, and the law of attraction, blah, 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 all this stuff. And like, yeah, I do believe in some of that, right? Like, but I don't believe in luck. I don't believe that that's a thing. I think that it's funny. One of my buddies said this. It's funny that the harder you work, the more lucky you get, right? And that comes in so many different ways. Like, you don't just get, like, if you've built yourself up, if you've personally developed yourself into this person that you're really proud of, and you've worked hard and whatever, and you get this crazy opportunity that comes your way for whatever reason, you're like, I don't even know, I just got lucky. More times than not, it's not because you got lucky. People have vetted you more times than not, and they've been like, this person really puts their foot forward, and they've already looked at your portfolio, like, and they've already, like, I had a job opportunity come my way 2 weeks ago. Somebody like hit me up, somebody who I respect, somebody who's very, very wealthy, and they offered me a job opportunity. And that's not luck, right? And I said no. But that's not luck. That's because, you know, your past speaks for yourself. Your accolades speak for yourself, you know, that type of thing. I don't believe in luck. Always create your own opportunities. They never just happen. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Do it. Same thing goes for POTS. Stop waiting for when this symptom stops, I'm going to start working out. When I have more money, I'm going to hire the trainer. When I have more money, I'm going to join the group. Or when I have more money, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. It doesn't happen that way. Perfect timing doesn't exist, and it never will. It never has. It never will.
Oh my god, I am freaking dead. Ugh.
What? I know. Isn't that nuts? What's a gymnastics movement that I could have him do here? One to two rope climbs. There you go, bozo. Actually, he's got to do total rings. I'm going to change this. I'm finna change this one, dog. Kathy says LaVine Protocol is definitely a brutal program that, in the research setting, had a 50% dropout rate. Initially, most patients feel worse when doing LaVine program and adapt at 4 to 6 weeks. Did it myself and was scary the first month. Yeah. Kathy, I don't know if you've seen my videos, but I think that LaVine Chops Protocol is Absolute trash, garbage. A couple of reasons why I don't think that the adaptations, and I did like an entire live breaking it down. But cliff notes, I guess, keynotes, is that I think that the adaptations that are made during using the LaVine CHOPS protocol are not like necessarily beneficial for somebody with POTS. Like they're normal exercise adaptations, but like they're not positional adaptations or any sort of like orthostatic, like type of, so like the blood pressure, like you're not learning, your body's not figuring out how to regulate blood pressure or to regulate heart rate necessarily. It's just kind of learning how to reintroduce circulation to the body and like reintroduce exercise. I haven't met one person who has done CHOPS LaVine, and I thought that I had met one person. I haven't met one person or had a consult with one person that has done CHOPS LaVine protocol where it has lasted long term, the lasting effects. I have not met one. In fact, I just had somebody, this was so annoying too. This was incredibly annoying. I just had somebody who messaged me this weekend who like I had an initial consult with probably some around this time last year, if not fall last year. And they messaged me telling me that they did the CHOPS LaVine protocol, blah, 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 everything was good. And then they dropped off a little bit. Like they had, other life commitments. And, as soon as they stopped doing some of the stuff from the program, they had a crash. They are back to square one basically. Right. And, again, I broke down the LaVine CHOPS protocol, and if you watch that video, you'll be able to know why I think that happened. But the annoying part was this person came to me, and I responded, sorry that happened to you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, if you need anything, let me know. The person had the nuts to tell me, I came here to just to complain. I was like, let me actually read it. Let me actually read what the message was. Just came here to rant, really, was what the person said to me. just came here to rant. Like the person took the time out of their day to message me about how once they stopped using the LaVine protocol, CHOPS protocol, it's like they went back to having symptoms and having like bad health, and then let me know that they came there just to rant. Why do you think that you deserve any part of my day for that? Like, what? You just popped up. I don't really even think that's you. I don't get that. You know what I mean? I don't understand that. Erica, hello. What's up? Tolga Kishmir. How did you accept the fact that you have POTS? Because it's still hard for me to accept it and it's scary. Tolga, I guess what I would ask you, my initial question would be, what is scary about it for you? Like, why does it scare you? That's what my first question would be. The acceptance part comes from I mean, you kind of have to accept it, right? Like I don't know, you just kind of have to accept it. Like you have POTS. There's nothing that you can do about the fact that you've been diagnosed with POTS. The only thing that you can do is move forward. The only thing that you can do is move forward with your diagnosis and do the things necessary in order to fix it. So you can accept the fact that you have this chronic illness. That doesn't mean that you need to accept that that it's a death sentence or that it's forever, because it's not a dangerous thing to have. I've never heard of a death that came from what's it called? I've never heard of that. Number two is that it's manageable. It's very manageable. And number three, I think that's it. You know, it's not a death sentence. And number two, it's manageable. It's super manageable. You just have to figure out the resources in order to get it. To me, too, community is really big. And so like there's a lot of like doomsday people on the internet, and I talk about this every single stream. There's so many doomsday people on the internet when it comes to pots and like how bad it is and da 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 da, this, that, and the third. But those people are almost never doing anything positive in the right direction to actually like fix the situation, right? They always just kind of want to sulk, and then they go into forums and they go into Facebook groups and stuff where they just stick around negativity and negative people and other people who just want to sit in their shit. So like finding a proper community of people that like help bring you up and whatever. I don't know if there's other free ones. I have a community. It's linked in the description. You get 1 free week. You get a training protocol. You get a bunch of resources, how to manage certain symptoms and stuff like that. There's a bunch of people that will be in there to help bring you up, and you know that you support and that they support you. It's $50 a month after your free week, after 1 free week. But that's one resource. Other than that, I would just try to find people who have done where you want, or who are where you want to be, and accept it that way. Accept the positives, that you can fix it, that things are manageable. That was me who met. It's me. I'm not kidding. My name. I'm sorry I annoyed you. It's not, dude, it's not that you annoyed me. It's that, well, okay, I'll be honest with you. There's no hate. I don't dislike you or anything like that, right? But you gotta understand, and this is me being candid, and everybody who's watching will see this and they can make their judgment on me, right? You have to understand that if you're coming to me with stuff like that, like I'm not just there to be a person to be like, hey man, I'm your therapist or whatever, right? Like I can't be that guy. And I get a lot of those messages. You're not the only one. And so like my time is valuable. I get compensated for my time. It's not fair for me to sit there in a conversation with somebody that wants to complain to me about stuff if I'm not getting compensated for it. It's not fair to my other clients or the people that are in our group or whatever. And so like it's not the fact that what you did, it's just kind of like, I don't really know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, no offense, I'm not trying to be mean. It's like there's ways to fix it. I've offered you the solutions, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like this too. Like, I don't think that you would even like if your like good friends came to you and like you haven't talked to your good friend, like your best friend, and the only thing that he wanted to do, unless he's having like a mental health crisis or something like that, right? But the first thing that he comes to you with is, hey man, can you believe so and so, or like they have a complaint right away. By the way, if you do have like an issue, if something is wrong, I'm totally cool with being a good human being here for you. Absolutely, right? It's just, let's figure out solutions, right? If you're going through something, let's figure out a solution. Like, cause I'm not a complainer. I don't want to be there to complain. You know what I mean? So like, if you need help finding a solution, my dude, I'm absolutely 1000% down to be there with you. 100%. And I will support you through and through. Erica B. I hope you are well, Justin. I have been pushing myself to go out more, and I have been able to complete the outings I go on. Yeah, let's go. Thanks for being so motivating and supportive. You rock. Dude, I appreciate you, Erica. Let's go. Question. I have been sitting outside for 30 minutes a day and still can't adjust to the heat. Do you have any other tips or tricks? Yeah. So if you've been doing it for 30 minutes a day and you're still not acclimating to the heat, my next step would be trying to do some sort of exercise in the heat as well. So not just like sitting outside, but like maybe doing 5 minutes of some sort of formal exercise, maybe a jog or a run, and split it up into intervals too. Intervals really seem to help with this. So like maybe doing 2 minutes on, going in the house, cooling off, 2 minutes on, doing like a total of 20 minutes. That seems to really help because naturally as you exercise, your body temperature goes up. So you will get warmer. you will get hotter because you're exercising. And so your increased temperature will be increased even more because you go outside, which means your tolerance will probably go up. So yeah, I would say start doing like small intervals. And intervals don't mean like go hit 180, 190, beats per minute heart rate or workout. Just like go outside, do a little bit of exercise, go back inside, cool down, go outside. But also, Erica, the heat in Wisconsin recently has been ridiculous. So I don't even blame you. I don't even know if that's a POTS thing. It's just really been hot. Hold on, guys. I got to check something. I will try this. I didn't even think about it. Thank you. I'm so determined though to be outside, so I'm going to give it my all. Dude, do it. You got this. You've come so freaking far. Even from when we were working together, you've come so far. So, yeah, you got it. That'll be easy for you. Maybe not easy, but you'll get it figured out. Make sure you're well hydrated too. Are you making noodles? All right. Well, it's been an hour and 7 minutes. I think that I'm going to get the frick out of here and go buy a punching bag. Go buy a Muay Thai bag. If you guys have any questions, let me know quick before I go. Light XDDH, I just want to make super clear that I'm not pissed off. I was a little bit annoyed. I'll be honest with that. I'm not pissed off by you. I don't think anything ill of you. I don't think anything bad. Yeah. If you need help, I'm here. If you want help with solutions, I'm here. That's it. So I'm just making sure. Is it dangerous to exercise when you have POTS? Because before that thing happened to me, I was always a sportive guy, but I stopped going to the gym. It is absolutely not dangerous to exercise when you have POTS. The research is pretty clear that it's beneficial for POTS. Not pretty clear. It's very clear that it's beneficial for POTS. However, trying to exercise like you used to exercise is not going to be the way to approach it. So finding a program, I don't like the LaVine Protocol whatsoever. There's some coaches online. I'm a coach for POTS people. The POTS coach, that's the girl's brand. The POTS coach is also a coach for POTS people. I have a program and a workout thing that you can join. Link in description right now. You get 1 free week. You get a program. You get nutritional advice. You get supplement advice. You get resources to figure out how to tolerate heat, how to, figure out elimination diet, all this different stuff. Plus you get a workout program to follow, and you get a community of other POTSies, positive POTSies that will help bring you up, lift you up, make you feel good. And I think that, it's $50 a month after your first free week trial. So I think it's super worth the money, and I'm about to make it way more worth the money. Also, guys, I just want to also say tomorrow at 1:30 Central Standard Time, I have Dr. Justine Lucchini coming on live with me to talk about sleep and why sleep is so important. And we're not going to make it directly about POTS syndrome, but you can take all of the advice about why sleep is so important because of this, from or why sleep is so important from her. It will be a very, very beneficial podcast for you guys as POTSies to listen to. I promise you that much. Does POTS make your lifespan shorter? I haven't seen any sort of research suggesting that. I haven't seen anything suggesting that. I think the stress that you go through, if you're a person that has extreme health anxiety, that'll probably make your lifespan shorter. So trying to get that under wraps and trying to figure that out is probably a really good idea. Yeah, but no, I haven't seen anything that would suggest that POTS specifically makes your lifespan slower or shorter. POTS alone, no, it doesn't. Right, exactly. Just letting you know that the LaVine Protocol does have training revolves around changing positions. It can only be accessed by contacting the hospital. The one you are referring is the modified one. It can only be accessed by contacting the hospital. Is that an update to it? Is what I would wonder. Because I've had people who like went to the Mayo Clinic. I've had clients that were at the Mayo Clinic. Been to the ER multiple times for palpitations, did pulmonary tests, etc. Is it worth the tilt table test? I work out daily but struggle with the breath sometimes. All right. I don't think that the tilt table test is worth the money. I don't think that it's worth the time. I don't think it's worth the anxiety of going through, having to wait the weeks or the months in order to get to the tilt table test. And I'll tell you why. Because you can do a really simple experiment at home. You can get a blood pressure cuff. You can check your heart rate on your watch, although that's typically not super accurate. And you can do it yourself. You can do the test yourself. If your heart rate goes up by 30 beats per minute and your systolic blood pressure goes down by 30 points when you go from sitting to standing or laying down to standing, you probably have POTS. However, the thing here is that there can be a million different reasons why the tilt table test will tell you on any given day that you have POTS, and there could be a million different reasons why the tilt table test can tell you that you don't have POTS. There can also be a million different reasons why your heart rate can skyrocket when you stand up and your blood pressure can drop significantly. There's a million different reasons why all these tests can tell you that you do or don't have POTS, if you do or you don't have POTS. If you think you have POTS, start living like you have POTS. If you have exercise intolerance, start building up your tolerance or find somebody that can help you build up your tolerance. It's really that simple. You don't need a proper diagnosis for POTS in order to improve your life. That's what I've noticed. My doctors looked at me like a joke and blamed everything on anxiety. Yeah, that's generally how it goes with doctors and POTS. What I will say is that you as a patient do have to acknowledge that there is an anxiety component to what you're going through. You're feeling health anxiety. Kathy, no. So the LaVine program is out of Texas. The last few months are not open access for the public. The sports cardiologist from the study gave it to me at the end. Mayo and CHOP are different. Yeah, but Mayo Clinic uses CHOP protocol. From the people that I've worked with. Per the people that I've worked with. How many weeks into the CHOP protocol is the positional changing? Tolga, thank you for your answers. I have a lot to learn from you, dude. Yeah, dude, absolutely. Hit that link in the description. Join our community. There's a lot in there for you to learn, and there's a lot of people for you to learn from. Kathy, I'm really curious now. What are the weeks? Like, how many weeks in do you make the positional changes in this supposed secret part of the program? I'm gonna look it up right now again. Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Because all the way to month 8, I'm in month 8 right now, it doesn't suggest positional changing per the program. It says training modes are not listed because individuals should continue to progress to upright modes as they can tolerate. We recommend beginning interval training on the rower, upright bike, or elliptical. Can progress to jogging if available. Weight training can be done on the same day as cardio if necessary. So I guess my question is the program that you have the original CHOPS protocol? And if so, what month or what week does it tell you that you can stand up or sit down? The sports cardiologist who designed it. The program has been Dr. LaVine, Texas. Has been adapted to Dr. Benjamin LaVine. He's a rheumatologist out of New York, no? Medicine, allow, sports, renowned sports cardiologist. So I'm gonna still stick to my guns on this. This guy is a sports cardiologist, and that's fine and dandy. Exercise and environmental medicine. That adaptive capacity of the circulation, training, deconditioning, aging. Oh wow. I'm going to look into this guy a little bit more. I'm going to read into this guy before I say anything. Maybe we'll do a whole podcast on that, actually, or a whole live. Thanks for this information. It's month 8 to 12 only given by their staff who were on their research registry, which I was actually a part. Cool. And how do you feel? I have not had one person that has felt better using the LaVine CHOPS protocol. He has been a key contributor to the guidelines for management of athletes with heart disease since 1994. Space medicine. So, yeah, I have never, ever heard of anyone that did the CHOPS LaVine protocol and had positional changes whatsoever, or that have had positional changes in order to make adaptations. I've never once had anybody do that. So this is really, really new news to me. It says that his global research His global research interests center on the adaptive capacity of the circulation in response to exercise training, deconditioning, aging, and environmental stimuli such as spaceflight and high altitude. That's really cool. But I don't think that necessarily means that he understands like the world of conditioning specifically. His global research response to exercise training. Yeah, just the response of exercise training. That doesn't mean that he knows how to put together an exercise protocol for conditioning necessarily. Interesting. I'm going to do more reading and listen to him. So let's see. Highlighted publications, daily generation of a footward fluid shift attenuates ocular changes associated with head down tilt bed rest. Non-invasive accuracy, training associated changes in ventricular volumes and function in elite female runners. Ooh, that seems interesting. The effect of lifelong endurance exercise on cardiovascular structure and exercise function in women. Respiratory fitness, coronary artery. I'm gonna really take a deep dive. While he's a sports cardiologist, they learn exercise physiology and fellowship after training in cardiology. They are a hybrid of cardiologist and exercise physiologist. Cool. I'm going to look into this for sure. I'm going to look into this way more because now I'm very, very curious. And I'm curious why I haven't ever met somebody who benefited from it then. Or who didn't have like long-term good effects or remission due to the CHOPS protocol. Because there's so much negative about his research and treatment. Hey Justin, my apologies. Check my email. They indeed sent out a wrong email. It was for people for hypotension, it seems. Aha. There we go. I mean, regardless of whether you made a mistake or not, this is still all really interesting. And I didn't know that he had he had a whole website and stuff. So what's interesting though is regardless of his training in exercise phys and being a exercise cardiologist, I guess, like a sports cardiologist, it still seems to me that the program is pretty poorly put together. It's not very progressive in nature. There's no like actual guidelines or progressions that you're supposed to follow or anything. Cause I have it up right here. Right. And I think that I'll do a brief synopsis of like what my video on it was, is that it's RPE based, rate of perceived exertion, which is really good. And that's been done in a lot of exercise studies. That's been done in a lot of condition or exercise science, studies, and on strength, specifically RPE, like in the strength world, building strength, right? Powerlifters, things of that nature. There's been a lot of research specifically on that. So that's good. I really like that. And I said that I really like that. The part that I really dislike about the CHOPS and LaVine protocol is the heart rate training zones. And the reason why I don't like that mostly is because there are so many variances for people with POTS specifically that can determine why you may have a higher heart rate one day or a lower heart rate one day. And actually not just specific to POTS, but just people in general. There's so many reasons why you can have variances in heart rates day to day that you can't really make progressive models by doing just heart rate training. That's why even when you look at marathon runners, right? RPE is a big portion of what marathon runners are doing now rather than just heart rate zone training. They're doing perceived exertion training and also doing things such as like saying that a zone 2 cardio session would be a conversational pace, because again, you want to make your heart more efficient and make adaptations for sure. But down the long term, you want your heart rate to also be able to regulate itself as you push and you reach for higher intensities. That doesn't just come from running at, for example, 5 miles per hour at 125 every single week. Somehow you need to be able to progress that. And more than likely, most times you're not going to be able to progress that just by paying attention to the numbers that are on your watch for heart rate. It just doesn't work like that. There are variances. There's so many reasons why your heart rate can go up, down, side to side. You know, that's a joke, obviously. So when I look at the program, right, it says 3 minutes at base pace, 2 minutes recovery, 3 minute base pace. Next week, 4 minute base pace, 3 minute recovery, 4 minute base pace. Third week, or month, where am I? First week, 3 minute, 2 minute off, 3 minute base pace. Second week, 4 minute base pace, 3 minute recovery, 4 minute base pace, 5 minute base pace, 3 minute recovery, five. Like that's all great and dandy. That's a great progression. But what happens if the person has had too little sodium that day? What if they're not well hydrated? What if they're not well nutritioned? Like they haven't had enough carbohydrate or whatever. And the heart rate is really high at the same level of effort, right, that they gave last week. So for example, your rate of perceived exertion on one day might be 6 running at a 6 mile per hour pace. But then depending on the things that happened the day prior or the day of, when you try it again next week, your rate of perceived exertion might be at a 6 when you're going 4 miles an hour. And so that's the whole issue here, right? And when we're trying to make like progressions, we're trying to make progress, especially for people with POTS, there's so many variances. They can feel exhausted, they can feel tired, da 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 da. I think that rate of perceived exertion is a really good thing, but there are some times where you need to know just to do the work as well. Does that make sense? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like you need to make the progression sometimes, whether or not you feel like you can make the progression. Especially because you know that you're safe. And so, yeah, I personally also don't like that there is no specifics to like, when should I get up? When should I try walking? When should I try getting on the treadmill? When should I do more interval? Actually, they did test that in the research setting. Dr. LaVine did neuronal recordings before and after and showed the autonomic nervous system is better regulated and sympathetic activity decreases. Sorry if I'm coming off as fighting you, not my intention, Justin. No, I don't think that you are at all, but I don't know exactly what you are negating that I said. They did a test. So what are you negating specifically that I said? I'm waiting for your answer because I'm very curious. John and Kathy, I appreciate you two being on. This is crazy. Very much so appreciate you guys being on. You're telling me things that I don't know. Erica's interested too. The heart rate spikes, how the sympathetic nerves don't fire excessively after the training program, how it increases the heart rate, but accordingly brings it down instead of making it go crazy. Something like that. No. Sure, that's fine. That's fine, but that still doesn't, I don't know if I'm like giving off what I mean to give off. I don't like heart rate training is the point here, right? I don't like when people give specific heart rate zones to train in. That's the point that I'm trying to say. I don't like it in endurance performance. I don't like it in CrossFit performance. I don't like it in any sport. I don't like it in this type of stuff. But with Kathy, I agree. The program was not individualized and 50% dropout is not good by any means. Absolutely, that's true. But my point is that I don't like heart rate training because there are many variances in somebody's heart rate per day, right? So like what this can also do is discourage somebody from doing a training session because they can't keep their heart rate in the zone that it's supposed to be in. 3-minute base pace. Okay. On the Wednesday, the second day, you're supposed to be in a 3-minute base pace. So what is the person to do if they can't regulate their heart rate? If it won't stay in that base pace zone? What are they to do? Are they supposed to just not do the training session? Even if they feel fine, not symptomatic, all these things, if they're feeling good and they feel like they want to train, they can train, they could train, are they supposed to not do it because they can't stay in that heart rate zone? That's number one. And number two, again, an effort that you give as somebody with POTS, if your heart rate is at 170, but you feel like your RPE is such that you feel as though you're in a zone 2 heart rate zone, but your heart rate isn't reflecting that, what is the person to do? That's why I don't like it, because I don't think that it's actually going to contribute to good conditioning. And you see that in the sports world, right? That's if you miss the session too because you can't do it, what are you to do? So now you're risking deconditioning, and it can happen that quick for somebody with POTS. It can happen that quick. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that I don't like the specifics of 3-minute base pace recovery, or like even towards the end when they're doing like higher intensity, 25-minute MSS, or where's the interval ones where they tell you to be in the higher heart rate zones. I don't like those specific things. I think RPE, rate of perceived exertion, is probably a much better way to do things. And it's not really like suggested in here. And also, I'm not going to like keep going on it. If you guys want more information on what I did a deep dive on why I don't like it in a video, and I did a deep dive in it on a live on why I don't like it. Mostly because there's so many variances in a person with POTS' body. One day they might feel like they're in a zone 2 pace, and then they're not. And then it's like, well, I didn't benefit from it, or, should I not train, or, is this going to help me? And it's like, especially the people with POTS, it's so case to case. It's such a case to case basis, right? People are different in what they can handle. And like, I've had people who get on a treadmill or a recumbent bike, and they're like, my heart rate was 165, but I could talk for hours. Like, I didn't feel like my heart rate was 165. I'm like, yeah, it's because it's very individual. Like that day you might have been malnutrition. You might not have had enough water the day before. You might not have had enough sodium leading up to your workout. And I don't ever want to discourage somebody from not working out because of a stupid heart rate zone, So I hope that makes sense. What you're saying is fine, and that's cool, and I appreciate the information. Absolutely, 100% for sure. I'm super interested. I would even be cool. Like, it would be cool if you reached out to me on Instagram. We talked a little bit more. But what I'm saying is, like, there's specific reasons why I do not like the CHOPS LaVine protocol. But with Kathy, I agree. The program was not individualized, and 50% dropout is not good by any means. Yeah, I wonder why the people dropped out, though. Tolga Kishmir, I read that salt is good for people with POTS, but isn't it? Doctors says salt in general is bad for health. Sorry, I'm also reading the other chats. Salt is not bad for health. Well, table salt might be bad for health. Sodium's not bad for health. Everybody needs sodium. Sodium is an essential electrolyte. It's kind of gotten very, very demonized for reasons that I'm not going to get into on this podcast. But there's a lot of stuff coming out about sodium and health, and that we need more than the recommended daily allowance. And I would definitely dive into that. There's a book called The Salt Fix. It's a really good book. Read that. That's my recommendation. POTS and hangovers are literally hell. Don't drink. Sugimoto, I can't seem to find that zone 2. I always thought it was when you can still kind of talk while you're doing it. I get that breathlessness a lot, so I can barely talk. Yeah, zone 2 for me, that's part of the reason too why I don't recommend like the zone 2 heart rate thing, because for people it would probably be between like 135 to 150 beats per minute depending on your age or whatever. Let's just say it's that though. For me, the recommendation is always do this at a pace where you can have a conversation, a fluid conversation. John Hull, I do believe that there are biases people read about on the LaVine Protocol. I'm sure people who benefit from it greatly won't be talking about it and living their life. It made me symptom free. That's awesome. That's really good for you. That's super good for you. I'm happy for you. Very happy for you. And by the way, I don't go on any of these like forums or like Reddit pages or anything like that where people talk crap about the LaVine Protocol. I read the LaVine Protocol. I didn't like it. I don't like anything that's not individualized per person because I don't think that it takes into account so many different things. Lifestyle variations or factors. Somebody didn't sleep that much the day before. Somebody they're malnutritioned. They haven't drank enough water. They don't have enough sodium in their diet. And this isn't just for POTS specific types of protocols. It's for everyone. And also, my experience with CHOPS and LaVine is mostly people coming to me because it didn't work for them. So I'm really happy for you that it helped. Genuinely. Knitter Gritter. What's up with the different subtypes of POTS and one affects your adrenaline? The POTS Reddit group gave me depression. LOL. Get off the POTS Reddit group, dude. Get off of that thing. I'm not in it, but yeah, I haven't even visited it. What's up with the different subtypes of POTS? Dude, this is something, and I've said this in a couple lives, I couldn't even tell you. I don't know what is up with the subtypes of POTS because when I got diagnosed with POTS, there was no subtypes. It's like kind of one of those things where I almost think it's like autism, where they're just like adding more and more things to the plate to be like completely real. Just I don't know, to put a label on something. I don't know. That's not an answer that I can give you. You'd have to actually talk to a doctor about that. Erica B, I know the LaVine Protocol has been beneficial in the rehab world because they had no info on how to treat POTS. But you are right, it needs to be individualized. Yeah, I'm not doubting at all that it has benefited some people. Not at all doubting that. I'm more of a fan of individualized programming for anything, for any realm of fitness, for any realm of business, for any realm of anything. Because I think that people are so individual. And there is a lot of biological variances, in people, especially with exercise, even like rehab protocols for like let's say like an MCL tear or whatever. Like I've worked with people that can't tolerate certain exercises over other exercises, and it would be what you would think would be the protocol, the like go-to protocol. There's a lot of things, dude. I work with a lot of people that have a lot of injuries, I've had a dude who had Tommy John twice, like there's so much more variance in this stuff than we would like to admit. Sugimoto 1, the subreddit is hit or miss. I found it really helpful, but I literally searched for the thing I'm looking for, like recovery stories and how others manage. But yeah, the other stories don't do anything for health anxiety that can come with POTS. You got to see a therapist to address that. I don't know anything about the Reddit or the subreddit. Legitimately. I don't even know how to use Reddit. I've heard that Reddit is like a very good tool and a good resource for a lot of things. You can learn almost anything on Reddit. I just choose not to go on it. I know nothing about it. So, all right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. It's been an hour and 40 minutes almost. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you guys did get something out of this. If you did, hit that like button. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're at 999 subscribers. We need one more, dude. We just need one more to hit 1,000. Tomorrow, I'm having a sleep expert on. Her name is Dr. Justine Lucchini. She owns the supplement called Thirdsy. She's coming on to talk about sleep and why it's so important. And then I'll try to like kind of move it into why sleep is important for POTS type thing. So I definitely would appreciate if you guys hopped on at 1:30 Central Standard Time tomorrow to be a part of that and ask your questions live. Yeah, it'll be very insightful for a lot of you guys. And I think that you could learn a lot. So yeah, and if you haven't already, hit that link in my description and join our Positive POTS community. There's a forum in there for you guys to communicate with other people about, you know, what's going on with you and have them help bring you up while you bring them up. Just being positive, you know, only positivity. There's a lot of resources in there. There's a workout program. It's not individualized. It is generalized, but is based off of the workout, the exercises and stuff that I give to people and have had a lot of success with. And then you get resources on how to tolerate heat better, how to hydrate, how to do an elimination diet, how to bring, you know, stuff back into you, supplement recommendations, all this stuff. So if you haven't already, join that. You get 1 free week. After that, it's $50 a month. I appreciate you guys for being here. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace out. Good.